Look on the screen. Sorry that I gotta ask ya. They are so mean. These dusties trying to get at ya. Look on the screen. Look on the screen. Look on the screen. They are deadly. Mary Dusties. Listen. Oh my gosh. This story is just so. It's a lot of impact in a 2-minute news report. So she's 20 years old. I don't see what she sees in the highwayman. Here's the highway and here the grassy parts. What does she see in the married, older highwayman old enough to be your dad? Darling, what are we teaching our daughters? And I thought one of the most sad things was to hear the mother say, he reached out to the mom saying he wants to what? Stop the relationship with her daughter, but now the daughter is calling the wife. Mom, did you try to intervene?
Texting her mom a smiley.
And that was the last thing she got from her daughter was that smiley.
I wasn't even there 30 minutes and they called and told me her car was found. And I knew then, at that point, like something happened to her.
The day of the murder, police say Brunson met up with a married man she'd been seeing, Sultan Sharif. Strangely, he'd reached out to Brunson's mom a week earlier.
He goes on to say, I want to be done messing with your daughter, but she's reaching out to my wife.
Okay, and I want to know, what did you do? I hope and pray you had a sit down. This is sad, where the man, who's also unalived the girl, in such a violent manner, she was her screaming, he cut my throat. I want to be done with your daughter, but she's reaching out to my wife. When people tell you, oh my God, sad to say, not blaming her for his actions, but sometimes you put yourself in danger. When a person says they want to be done, just go. See, here's the thing about it. If he's in love with the young 20-year-old, and I think these men want to see if they can pull one, and she's young, and she's cute, and she's 20, and they want to have their fun, that's it, baby. And then, sorry to tell you, these married men, once they're done with you, they'll toss you to a side like a doll. In this case, kill you, shoot you, and set you on fire. If she had just left it, oh, okay. Lesson learned. This should have been married man lesson 101, what not to do. But see, some people, and especially some younger women, I think women in general, sometimes it's not so much about the man. Sometimes, believe it or not, they may find themselves, speaking in general, you're in competition with a wife, girl, you're in competition sometimes with a woman that doesn't even care about you, don't even really know you. And you think that's your trump card. I'm going to tell you why. Here's what I can tell you, honey. The wives know about these men. They married to them. They've been around them longer than you. They may stay married for certain reasons. Some chicks don't want to work. Look at that with Shawnee. How long had it been going on? Oh, girl, life is business. And she left with what, maybe 4 children? Hey. Life is business. That's her decision. I'm just saying. I can't say what her frame of reference was, but I can imagine you get some more kids. Yeah, you know what time it is, girl. Hey, life is business. I'm not mad at her, but, maybe she's want to have 4 kids. But a man like Shaq, that kind of money, yeah, more than 2 would be a nice number. Look at Kim Zolciak. All the time being, she's a reality star, or I guess has been a reality star. Was a reality star from Little Housewives, and then, tardy for the party? With Big Papa, she was married to Big Papa, and she didn't get pregnant, did she? But ooh, she married Croy. Because, see, Big Papa was married. She was a kept woman, so she knew how to play her cards. I don't recall her ever getting pregnant by Big Papa on the show and have a baby by him. Nah. And Big Papa was really, when the picture I saw looked like Little Papa, but hey, I guess that wallet was thick. Kim Zolciak then gets married to Croy. Boom, boom, bop, bop, boom, baby, baby, baby. She got some babies out there. And she mentioned, she want get older, didn't want to be alone, want kids, and of course, so she didn't get pregnant by the paper boy, the pizza delivery boy. Big Papa was known to be married, didn't get pregnant by him, don't want to mess that up. Croy Young, single, football player, nice hell of an income. Oh yeah, boom, 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 baby. I think she may have twin boys. I know it's at least 2 sons. I ain't, checking into it recently, but it just came to mind. So women stay married to the men for certain reasons. And sometimes it's business. Sometimes it is for, the lifestyle they can provide. Now, me personally, I'm going to say this here, and I'm just going to get back to this. On the Shawnee issue, which is a separate video, I do believe she was in love with the man. I believe she was. It's possible. I think maybe because of the hurt and to get that book going, maybe that's the reason why she may have said that. Like, oh my God, really? She's a businesswoman. Did you hear what she said? I want to read the book. So I think it may be a ploy. I think she probably was in love with him. She was married, as I understand, when she met Shaquille O'Neal. So I think maybe she was, but that might be part of the hurt that she experienced. Karma. And it could be to sell books. But the point is, if the man really loves you that much, he can go home and say, hey, you know what, wifey, because it has been done before. I'm going to go ahead and leave you for this woman, and this is it. But he didn't. He's having his fun. And I'm sorry to tell you, that's what you are. Fun time. Then he gets back to his life. There's some kind of tie that's linking him to that marriage. I shared a story on Patreon about my personal life. I had, we'd moved on. Then something came up and it was like, boom. Here I am in a new relationship. The next thing you know, this happened. Uh-oh. Gotta make sure, I shared that on Patreon. Oh, and maybe some people did not like, and I understand. But that was my decision. Life is business. That was my decision. Some women maybe, I can't believe you did that. Well, people doing what they want to do. You can't make nobody love you. You can't make nobody marry you. But guess what? If a man asks you to marry for whatever reason, guess what? That's what he wants to do. If a man leaves a wife for a side chick, that's what he wants to do. If a man doesn't leave his wife, guess what? That's not what he wants to do. So he has called the mother and said he's pretty much done with the daughter. What did the mother do? She still talking about calling his wife. That was crazy to me.
Strangely, he'd reached out to Brunson's mom a week earlier.
He goes on to say, I want to be done messing with your daughter, but she's reaching out to my wife.
September 24th.
That was a week earlier. So I think it could have been great if they could have said, hey, guess what? We are so done. I'm talking to my daughter. Daughter, don't call this man again. Take his number out your phone. Delete. Lesson learned. But it wasn't, because guess what? The girl met up with the man. That's how he got access to her.
Fourth, a friend of Sharif's called 911 after he says he saw Sharif on top of the victim in Sharif's car, and that the female stated, he cut my throat. She was screaming and pleading for help.
If you had left, not blaming her, but if you just had left the man alone, he done dumped you, it's over. Sometimes the rejection is a protection. We can't see it. Sometimes I think in these relationships, it's about winning. No, I'm going to win. Oh, you don't do this to me. Listen, when you're dealing with these married men, you really got yourself up to an exposure. They have more to lose. There was a preacher, I'll never forget, my parents talked about it. We were like, this was like a long time ago. And they said, oh yeah, the preacher had gotten out of prison. And I said, oh yeah, that's that man that was a preacher. He was fooling around on his wife. And there was a mistress who was also a member of the church. I think she may have had a position there in the church as well. And they were together, had a difference of agreement. Next thing you know, she mentioned that she was going to go to church that Sunday and tell his wife, but in front of everybody. Man, in a fit of rage, he had so much to lose, because they had like a medium-sized church. It wasn't a little small, church. No, had a medium-sized church, and had a nice, very comfortable living. Trust and believe, had a very comfortable living. What do you think happened? He killed her. I guess in a fit of rage. I'm gonna come to the church and I'll tell you I can find everybody. Next thing you know, he must have snapped and he done kill that woman. I'm gonna tell you why. She probably already know, just don't care about you. She's some women are what they call, they say ho 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 ho. We don't like. I'm power. They want a man with some kind of power. There got to be some perks. That's why I say a lot of it is business. Why? Oh, why the woman didn't leave? That's on her. So a week before he's out, it's to the point. It makes me wonder if the young lady was not accepting that it's over. For him to get to the point to call your mother, he probably thought that was going to kaput, it's done. And obviously it wasn't, because she met up with him again. Call your mother. For her to call the mother, that tells me that guy was probably tells me he was getting scared. That's what it's starting to think to me. And I wonder if she was persistent. Why would you even meet up with him? She shouldn't have met up with him. And now the fool, look what he did, cut her throat. Wow. Can you imagine? A man has already told you bye-bye, and you still, and then if you don't adhere to it, you're going to come up with a threat because he's dumping you. Girl, bye. Let it go, honey. Got your whole life ahead of you. Look at this. Look at him. I'm still trying to wonder what kind of line was he dropping to get next to her. Seriously. What kind of line was he dropping to get next to her? Baby, you can do so much better. Your whole life ahead of you. Trust and dust if you must. But this happens, I think, a lot with women because they call themselves, oh, you don't do this to me. Oh, Now look what's happened. A week later, after he's called the mother, he probably thought that was going to do with the embarrassment that she's seeing a married man. A week later, look what happened.
He says he saw Sharif on top of the victim in Sharif's car, and that the female stated, he cut my throat. She was screaming and pleading for help. Police didn't locate the two then, but hours later were called to an alley near Keefe and Palmer where Brunson had been tied, shot, and then set on fire.
Tied, shot, and set on fire. And you thought he loved you. Tied up, shot, and set on fire. My God. She's only 20. See, that's another thing, too, about these married men. Sometimes these women, you think you know him, but you don't. I bet the wife does. She knows what she's dealing with. And that's her choice if she wants to stay there. Hell, I don't care. Do what you want to do. That's her choice. You think you know him until some mess like this go down. Like a woman I know. Man, known her for a long time. She got with a married man. Had a baby by him. You think you know him. Yep, he was all fun and games, girl, staying out, yada, 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 helping her a little bit. Next thing you know, she got a baby bump. Dude went out to lunch. Now you're taking your baby who's like, 2 or 3 years old. You trying to embarrass him at the church and end up getting embarrassed yourself because the church folks stood behind him. She thought she was going to embarrass him. I'm going to go to his church. You going to call the scene? No, you're not, because those folks done already stopped you. He saw you, got his family up out of there, and then while you trying to make a way, these men are pulled together, them little deacons. He must have told them something, because next thing you know, the deacons are sitting up here stopping her, and there's, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? See how they work together? You're going to come to the church, start a scene. Man, what are you doing? So as they're approaching her, and it's more than one, excuse me, who do you want to see him about? My thing is, he probably told them, keep her away from me. And they saw that baby. They knew what time it was. Probably doing the same thing themselves, protecting each other. So while they're talking to her, he has the chance to get him and his family, his wife and kids, guess what? To the car safely. Went to call the scene and got embarrassed. Before she could even say anything and try to approach them, little deacons that already came and surrounded. Excuse me, they're between her and him. Ma'am, can we help you? What you doing? Can we help you? Well, no. And while they were speaking with her, he and his wife and their children were getting to the car and already left. And so she's standing there looking silly. I want to talk to him about his baby. Man, we can't have that here. We're going to have to ask you to leave. Got dressed up to get embarrassed. Mission not accomplished. And she didn't pop embarrassed so much she didn't go back there anymore. Got embarrassed. She even told people how she was embarrassed. put him on child, then just go do it. You want to go to the church, you just go do it. What did you think was going to happen? They're going to have you over for Sunday dinner? You think you know these married men, but you don't. If she had known this was going to happen, she wouldn't have met with this fool, this clown, this diabolical clown. She would not have met with him. Probably didn't see it happening. I don't believe if she knew that the extent of his violent behavior toward her, she wouldn't have met with this man. But she did. And look what happened.
The female stated, "He cut my throat." She was screaming and pleading for help. Police didn't locate the two then, but hours later were called to an alley near Keefe and Palmer where Brunson had been tied, shot, and then set on fire.
And then his wife tried to line protect him. Out of all of that, she didn't go, oh, clench my pearls. I'm calling the divorce attorney, trying to line protect him. Let me guess, she probably need that check, and she probably used to him doing that. She might have a little side action of her own. I'm just saying it's possible. Unbelievable what he did to her.
On top of the victim in Sharif's car, and that the female stated, "He cut my throat." She was screaming and pleading for help. Police didn't locate the two then, but hours later were called to an alley near Keefe and Palmer where Brunson had been tied, shot, and then set on fire.
You thought he loved you? Tied. She said he cut her throat, and she's tied up, shot, and set on fire. What are we teaching our daughters? And sometimes you can try and teach them, they don't want to listen. If not the commentary, at least show this video to the young ones. Sometimes they need to see this. Oh, that ain't gonna happen. She thought the very same thing. The homegirl that I know, I'm gonna say her name, thought the very same thing. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and climb. She thought she had it on lockout. Oh, she thought she had it on lock. Miss Yellowhammer thought she had it on lock. That's an old term. Oh, she thought she had it on lock till that baby came. He disappeared back to family land. Oh, really now? I'm going to go to his church and show him, and look what happened. At that point, you just don't say anything. You just, girl, put him on child support and keep on moving. He's made his stance. He's not going to be a part of your child's life. He's not. He is not going to be a part of your child's life. He and his wife, I understand, got 3 kids. 3! So you're going to be the sole parent that's put him on child support. He's made his stance clear. He's not coming around. The girl about 2 years old. He hasn't come around yet. What did they tell you? This is so sad. Again, it's all for fun and games. You think you know these men. And you just, sometimes you have to learn the hard way. Anyway, it's just sad. When a person doesn't want to be bothered, when people say they don't want you, not interested, accept you might be better off. Sometimes a rejection is a protection. And she learned a little bit too late. 20 years, look at your whole life ahead of you. You make mistakes, I get it. Your whole life ahead of you. Look what this thing on the screen does. For him to do that, he needs to be in there for life. He just should not be let out. Because he should be in there for life. Cut her throat. You know what? And this too, last and concluding, I must say, it makes me think he planned this. Oh, he planned this. When they said she met up with him, I think he planned it. How you? Okay, you brought your gun with you? What you tie her up with? He must have planned it. I'm gonna give it to you once for all. You got your gun with you? What do you tie her up with? You have that with you? Zip ties or rope, whatever. And you happen to have you set her on fire with what? That makes me think premeditated. He planned this when he met up with her. She probably knew what was going to go down. It makes me think when he met up with her, he planned this. In his mind, what he was going to do. I really do believe that. I could be wrong. I cannot confirm or deny. That's just my opinion. I think he planned it. So sometimes the rejection is the protection. Thanks for watching, people. Let me know what your thoughts are. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out.